Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today I will be discussing Surah Al-Ra'd, the Thunder, chapter 13 in Al-Qur'an. The main aim of this chapter is that truth is clear, strong, and deeply rooted, while the falsehood is weak and will not last. No matter how it seems to prevail or appears to the eyes that it is strong. What is the main topic of this chapter? People are easily deceived in this world. I mean that sometimes falsehood appears to people to have great pleasure influence. Being supported by many things leads people mistakenly think that falsehood is truth. Falsehood may lure the eyes and get people confused, causing them to go astray. Thus, in this chapter, it tells us not to be deceived and to know that the truth is strong. The chapter name is the Thunder, Ar-Ra'd. If we will all get to imagine a thunder, we may get startled, shocked on hearing it, but in fact, it heralds rain and prosperity, peace. In this chapter, it says that thunder thus glorifies Allah praise, to sabbih. Thus, in this verse, it shows that scary roaring of the thunder must not intimidate people, and it's only a praise to God. Also, it brings down rain, which gives water. So the choice of the thunder to tell us not to be deceived by appearances and know that goodness may be hidden in them. As weak faith people may follow falsehood, and one should know that the truth is deeply rooted and strong. Therefore, after the first verse, which state that Qur'an is the truth, and the rest of the chapter tackles God's true sign in the universe, verse 2 and 3 and 4, in order to stress that God is the truthful and the King. Afterwards, the verses describes all opposite of the universe, stressing that handling such opposite is impossible to us, yet only God is capable of putting them together. In this chapter, it mentions 32 opposites that are collected in this chapter. But why? What is the importance of giving one term and its opposite in this chapter? Let's look at one of the examples listed in this chapter of two opposites together. For example, it's mentioned, God knows what every female bears and what increases and decreases in their womb. Also, there's two opposites illustrated in this chapter, the feeling of hope and fear once you see the thunder or the lightning. So, by mentioning those opposites listed in this chapter, it implicates that only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is capable of gathering all the universe opposites together. And as you go further in the chapter, many verses in this chapter highlights the strength and power of truth in the verses 31. This verse highlights that the Qur'an is so great and its truth is so strong. Also, in this chapter, Allah gives us an example or a similitude, comparison between two things. It's about the truth is strong and present even if you cannot see it. Let's imagine this picture. When the water flows, on top of the water there's a foam and dust, and there's some ashes. It's on top of the water. So those ashes, dust and foam resemble falsehood, whereas underneath the foam it represents the good things, which is the water. So in this example, it expresses that falsehood sometimes it shows in the surface and becomes evident, but truth is there, well established. I hope this chapter is well explained and see you in other verses.